Underground Strength fam, what's going on? Zach Evanesh here. I just finished posting up workouts on Wodify into both accounts. Also, Lavana says hi. Right here. Hey, you big baby. Okay? She's waiting to go out on a run. She needs to get that fix, as do many of us. Couple of things. Make sure you're inside the Facebook group. I'm putting a lot of content in there. Videos, exercise tips, sharing other YouTube videos to show you how to make equipment. Right now, all these equipment companies, they're out of stock or they're way behind stock. By the time you get your equipment, it might be a month from now. Who knows? Maybe even later. Don't wait for them. Many of you, all of you, can go to my early days YouTube videos. You could see me building equipment. Some of you have gotten my Encyclopedia of Underground Strength as a book. I've been posting photos inside, trying to see what books I've got here, talking about books that our kids should be reading. Some of these books are great, and you could buy them used for a couple bucks on Amazon. Now, talk about making equipment. I'm really fired up. I saw Patrick Nevins over at our Scotch Plains location training with a case of water, doing overhead carries, Zercher carries, squats. Save a case of water, utilize it. We're going to be squatting, lunging with it, overhead pressing with it. I've got all of these old magazines, okay, from the 50s, the 60s. These are not so old. Then I've got something called the Dinosaur Training Files. The Dinosaur Training Files was written by a guy named Brooks Kubik. He wrote a book in the late 90s called Dinosaur Training. This book really fired me up. Look at the cover. It's amazing. And basically, the guy, he's an attorney, but the guy was building equipment, training out of his basement and his backyard. He was making sandbags, training with stones, getting kegs, filling them up with water. He was finding a way. And right now, some of us are texting me, emailing me, I don't have this, I don't have that. It doesn't matter what you don't have. It matters what you're willing to make and what you're willing to make out of the circumstances that we are in. You can let these circumstances paralyze you and do nothing and then complain, or you could follow the body weight workouts we've got in Wodify. You could go and pick up used dumbbells from who knows where, as long as they're not price gouging you. You could go to a scrap metal yard and pick stuff up. You could go to a tire yard and get a tractor tire for free. Every other day, get outside and flip the tire. You could go to any auto body shop. On the side, they're going to have car tires that they no longer use. Ask them if you could take one. What do? Look at the video that I posted in our Facebook group. You see a friend of mine, Alan Thrall. He has a tire. He drilled a hole in it, put an eye bolt on it, and then to make it heavier, he put a keg on it. You could fill dumbbells inside the tire. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of ways to get strong, and I don't ever want you, us, to feel like you are lost without us. We don't train you to be that way. We don't train you to be helpless at the underground. Everything that stands for the underground is about work and finding a way. The early days of the underground, the athletes were training with tree logs and stones. I know the playgrounds are shut, so you can't go to the playgrounds and do your pull-ups and whatnot, but there are ways to make it happen. We can guide you the majority of the way, but ultimately it's up to you. It's all about you. Are you willing to go for it and do the work? What's that great sweatshirt or t-shirt say? Nobody cares. Work harder. Yeah, we care about you, but what we're saying is nobody cares about the excuses. We're all in the same boat. And for years I've been telling people, have something extra at home. Have kettlebells at home. Have bands at home. Now everybody's kind of, scramming, trying to figure things out. Took my dog for a walk up around the block. This guy must have cut down a tree. He had tree logs everywhere. All I was thinking to myself was, what did Dom do? Look at what Dom did for his kids. He went to Home Depot, he got the cabinet handles, and he drilled them into the logs. Kids are doing farmer walks. Years ago, I saw a guy doing clean and presses with that stuff. Okay? You guys can do it. Trying to see, I even have it, had this old DVD. It was called Blitz. It's probably not even, can't even get a hold of those guys, but these guys made a DVD, and they were training with sandbags, tree logs. See if I could find any photos. I don't think it came with photos. It just had workouts. But it fired me up because the guys were training with homemade equipment. They weren't training with, back then, people weren't making strongman equipment, and if they were, it was impossible to find. You guys can see here, I've been saving stuff since forever, printing out all the original Westside Barbell articles, giving me all kinds of ideas for extra workouts. Guys, opportunity's knocking. You got to decide if you want to answer the door or if you're going to make excuses right now. Getting strong starts in the mind. It's probably more mental than it is physical. That's why all the training we do is never just physical. It must challenge you. Got to get out of that comfort zone. And right now, people are looking at it like it's a bad thing. Right now, opportunity's knocking. It's a test. It's a challenge. Time to rise up and rise above. Any questions? Send me a text message. Let's get after it.